Ja, dat vind ik zijn. Ja, je weet jezelf wel geweldig, hè? Yeah, but you think you're fabulous. You find yourself fabulous. Hi everyone, let me wait a second until I hear if the audio works. I think so, but you never know. Hi everyone, let me wait a second until I hear if the audio works. I think so. So, it seems to be working. Thanks all for joining this live stream. I decided to make another one just before the end of June. And what better way to kick off with the XC60? This is a smaller SUV from Volvo. It's been around since 2008, and the first generation they run from 2008 until 2016. And afterwards, the second generation, logically, was introduced, and that car is still in production, I believe. Let me just have a double check here. First generation, yeah. Second generation, do we have data on that as well? Yeah, that's still currently being built, and it's been in production since 2017. All right, so we see the screen. Yeah, it's all there. So we're good to go. It's very warm outside. Finally, summer has arrived here in the Netherlands. But I still wanted to do a quick-ish live stream for you out there. I haven't been very active on this channel lately. Like I said last time, I've been busy. But I do have some pretty nice reviews lined up the upcoming months. And we will be especially focusing on older Volvos because they tend to be more reliable. Here in Europe, price-wise, they are cheap-ish. And the engines, the bulletproof 5 cylinders, they are pretty bulletproof indeed. Currently in 2024, there's still parts available. Volvo parts, they are expensive. However, if you want a car that you don't maybe daily drive because gas mileage is not really up to the standard that we think is reasonable nowadays. But for me, what I always say, I'd rather just spend more money on fuel than visiting the mechanic every other week. So for me, that's not a big deal breaker. As you might not know, I also own a Volvo S40 with the 2.4 5-cylinder. I'm very happy with the car. Drive maybe 80,000 kilometers with it now since I have owned it. I don't daily drive it, but when I do drive it, it can take you to southern Germany if needed. But when you really, put your foot on the gas pedal, yeah, it's not economical, but the sound you get back in return and the reliability is definitely worth it for me. Okay, that's enough. So let's just go for the XC60. We already did the review on the XC90 previously, and this is just its smaller sibling, basically. We are not going to give in any budget. We're not going to say we want a diesel or we want a hybrid or we want a petrol car. This is just to give you an idea what is available here in the Netherlands for any given price. So we will go from cheap to very expensive. And now I see it says most expensive. Okay, let's just start with that. So that's built this year. It's the T8, which is also electric, I believe, and it's just a 2-liter 4-cylinder. Nowadays, Volvo only come with 2-liter 4-cylinders, and they don't make diesels anymore. I think there's even a plan from Volvo to go full electric, which I think is ridiculous. It's just stupid. You never know what the market's going to do. You never know what the government regulations are going to do in the future. So they're all in on electric cars, which is, yeah, as I said, stupid. I don't understand it. But this is the best of both worlds. I mean, the 2-liter 4-cylinder is not super refined, but it's a good engine. It's a good base engine. And with this car, they added some hybrid stuff on there as well. So let's first focus on the car. So this is brand new, built this year. And I think it even has it has a Polestar body kit and a Heiko body kit. So this is actually quite nice. Yeah. I mean, nothing to complain here, actually. I mean, this is a modern Volvo, and it's not the old Volvo. It's not a Swedish car no more. It's basically a Chinese car, but with European styling. 100,000 euros is quite a lot of money, also for this car. Even it being new, everything with which is on it. I mean, but you have quite a special car, and very soon, yeah, this is quite badass. Not bad at all. But you see, it has a quad tailpipe for a 2-liter 4-cylinder. It's a bit laughable in my book, but hey, I'm from the old school. Let's see, what does it have? Technical information. So it is a 4-cylinder, a 2-liter, but it does pack 455 horsepower. Not sure what the hybrid brings to the table, but let's say 250 or something from a hybrid. I have no idea, to be honest. But the system, the combined, the output of both the 4-cylinder and the hybrid together, 455 horsepower. I'm sure this is pleasant to drive, definitely, and I think it even looks nice. It's a bit un-Volvo-like, but yeah, that makes it funny. I think the black together with the red looks nice. But this is one of the most expensive XC60s to for sale now in the Netherlands at the day that we're recording. So this is all T8. This is top of the line, but T8 has nothing to do with the cylinders no more. So when you had a T5, you always had a 5-cylinder. D5 also 5-cylinder, but those days are long gone. So this is all most expensive, but let's just go for the cheapest one now. So this is a 2008. You see the prices start at 5,500. It is definitely not a cheap car. This is a 2008 with 521 horsepower on it, so it's quite a lot of miles. It is one of the earlier, this is the first production year. It's the diesel on top of that. Diesel is, our government makes it real difficult to still love a diesel car. These were used as taxis here in the Netherlands as well. They have the legendary D5 engine or just a 2.4 diesel, which is also a 5-cylinder diesel. Very reliable cars. Also made for racking up the miles, but even this, it's not for a Volvo purist. It's not a real Volvo. It's just not. But I saw this once also in a YouTube video from a mechanic here in the Netherlands, and these cars, they rust. I mean, it's not like what it used to be. And here you have a diesel with an all-wheel drive system on it, so it's not going to be efficient. And you see this car has done a lot of miles. I think 5,500 is still a lot of money. It's quite a heavy car, 1,716 kilos with only 160 horsepower. I'm sure it's enough for comfortable cruising, but it's definitely not a fast car. And you see, it's a small SUV, small European SUV. It's not super spacious. It's not. Yeah. So that's the cheapest one. Diesel with lots of miles on it. So it's been used quite a lot. I'm sure the diesel engine, yeah, you might still be able to put 100,000 kilometers on top of it. But the problem here in the Netherlands is you pay 1,700 plus kilos in road tax. Because and road tax for diesel is twice the amount compared to a petrol car. So you have to pay quite a lot of money each month just to have it on your driveway, let alone driving it. So yeah, it's not really a good deal. So these are all D5s. This one has 100,000 kilometers less. It's even 1 year older, and the price difference is not that bad. So let's inspect this one. This car is now 15 years old. So that's how old now this series, when it started. It's 16 years ago. It came first to the market, this being the first generation. And this has the D5. This probably has a little bit more power output, but I will just check in the specification soon. Typical Scandinavian European car. I mean, I'm quite fond of it by now. You have to get used to it, but when you sit in these chairs and you have to do lots of miles, then there's nothing else to do than just fall in love with the car. And also Volvo doesn't have this kind of arrogant or aggressive image that the Mercedes-Benz or especially BMW might have. I mean, I can appreciate a beautiful X5, don't get me wrong. But Volvo, yeah, it's kind of middle of the road. I mean, many people won't look twice at a car like this, but this is more for the owner. He will sit behind the steering wheel and just enjoy every minute of it, probably. Same steering wheel that I have, basically. It has some early stuff like parking sensors and stuff. This is 2009, so what do you expect? I mean, for the rest, it still looks okay. For a car with that many miles, it still looks not bad. This car is heavily used, so not too bad. Yeah, not sure what the previous owner is, what the 420k in kilometers is quite a lot. It is, but it's a diesel. It's a D5. See, this one has more power output. The previous one, the 2.4, had 163, and this one has 185. So this is definitely more powerful. Price is okay. I would say. I mean, this is what I paid for my Volkswagen Polo in 2012, actually, the same amount. And this is in a total different league. Again, not very good when you live in the Netherlands because you pay twice the road tax, and this is a heavy car. So that's probably why it's priced this way. If you do lots of miles, let's say starting from 50k a year in kilometers, then this could still be an option. But as I said before, Volvo parts are not really cheap. Um, it's also for diesel, it's probably not very economical. You expect maybe 1 liter of diesel for every 20 kilometers. I don't think that is possible. I think 1 liter for every 12 kilometers is more reasonable. So in terms of efficiency, it's also not what you expect. But what you get in return is just a reliable car, reliable engine. And that's what I'm personally all about, you know? I mean, I like reliability. The engines that they make nowadays, they're just built-in built-in errors and problems. You know, they just so built that at 100,000 kilometers you have to change this, at 120, all these service intervals you have to take into account that something can break. So basically every time that you have a service or an inspection for your car, expect something to need it to be changed. And I would personally really hate that. I mean, my Volvo is 17 years old currently. And recently I had to change out the oil filter housing, and it was only a small part, but I decided to change the whole thing in one time because it's 17 years old. I mean, close to 200,000 kilometers now. But it was just broken due to age. But for the rest, the track record of the 5-cylinder is just great. This is the summum, which basically means the top trim level for the Volvos. Wow, this car even racked up more miles, so you see they're capable of reaching quite astronomical miles. This car is even 1 year younger. It has a manual, which is funny, probably a 6-speed. People are joining in, nice. 2010. Yeah, I mean, it's funny that there's a 6-speed or a 5-speed in here. I will check very soon. Don't know why. Leather. This looks like a 6-speed, but heavily used. Yeah, 6-speed. Okay. So this is the tax on a yearly basis. It's close to 2k a year to have it taxed, and this is road tax. Yeah, this is road tax. So I mean, that's already a massive chunk of the original purchasing price. So that's why these cars, they're not really interesting no more for lots of people. They're just too expensive. And also diesel prices are quite high already for many years. So you need to drive quite a lot of kilometers if if this kind of car is still something for you. And you see they already racked up the miles quite a lot. This is funny. I mean, if this really is a summum, this is also a summum. This is the same year, didn't drive that much, almost half as this. And it's only a little bit more expensive. Not sure why. It's been imported in 2010. And they say it was built in 2010. So maybe it was imported from Germany or from Norway, Finland, who knows. There is always a story. Not sure why you would import a car the same year it was built. But maybe it was imported through the dealer network. I have no idea. Always be careful for what's the story, what the story is behind it. Let's see. Yeah, definitely been driving more than 200,000 kilometers on it. So this is already kind of shady. You saw the other car with 500,000 kilometers on it. They don't have that kind of damage. Yeah, it's been heavily used. Probably a dog here on the back seat, or this looks like mold. So the car's been standing there for a while, and probably moisture is leaking into the car, or who knows what the story might be when it comes to this. All right. Here my laptop is struggling a bit. It's warm and it has to do some streaming, but probably all good. Yeah. All right. So let's see what else we got. So prices are going up a bit. Let's see what you get into the 10K range, because I think that's about the minimum that you need to bring to the table when you go for a car like this. This one looks nice, but it is the 2-liter diesel, the D3, so not the D5. So now we're going from a 5-cylinder to a 4-cylinder diesel, which already racked up the miles quite a lot as well, 380k in kilometers. Yeah, the R design, it has the neon package in it. Let's see. Yeah, not particularly interesting. Let's see. Yeah, it does look a little bit more updated with the special dials, and it is nice that it's an automatic transmission instead of a manual. I mean, it adds to the class. 2011, 1 year younger again. And you also see a few updates here, but yeah, this is all very late 2000s, early 2010 technology. So, I mean, a smartphone nowadays can do a better job than this, but hey, almost 400,000 kilometers on the clock, it still looks okay-ish, right? It's a R design package, so also R chairs. And believe me, Volvo builds one of the best chairs, yeah, that are out there. Just, it's I think they even use the knowledge of certain chiropractors or doctors that about the physical stuff of people, to construct products that are the most supportive. These cars are just made for eating up the miles and do it in a very comfortable way. Let's just see some of them again. D4. So it's probably, yeah, it's also, yeah, it's just a tiny difference in CC here. But let's just see, this is a T5, also a 2-liter, 2014. Schade means it does have some damage, but the spec T5 Summum, that is quite a nice combination there. Let's see if we can spot the damage or what it is. Nice color. You don't see them that often. Nice stylish rims on it. It is a T5, but that just nowadays it just means it's a 2-liter 4-cylinder. Oh, okay. That, yeah, who knows how expensive that still is to make, and by a Volvo dealer quite a lot, I suppose. But yeah, at the average dealer or company that fixes those things, this will not be cheap. And you don't know what else is hit. Maybe there's something with the chassis that's crooked, or who knows what the impact might be. Okay, yeah, let me just go to this and see what the power output is. That's quite amazing, I have to say. This is probably a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder 8-speed, almost 250 horsepower. That's not bad, not at all. But too much damage here, too much damage. So let's see. Let us just focus on, this is an automatic. Did we have 6 cylinders in this car? Let's see if we can just put on some few filters. So let's just go for the T5. And then we go to, let's see, where is it? Okay, we want 5 and 6 cylinders. So they only have 5 with the old school 5 cylinders. And don't tell me they're all diesel. They're all diesel. No petrol. That's just too bad, because these cars also came onto the market as a T5. So that was the turbocharged 5-cylinder. And they were still around until 2012-ish. So the first couple of build years, the first 4 years of its life, it was available with the legendary turbocharged 5-cylinder from Volvo. Let's see. It's quite crazy what they still ask for these cars. I mean, look at the mileage. Okay, let's just dive into this one. A diesel again, nothing special, but it has the 5-cylinder. Let's see what is the power output. Also, this one is imported. Could be shady. Don't need to be, but it's always, for me, it's always a warning just to be cautious. 175 horsepower from a Ford. So it's a fast diesel. I mean, yeah. Okay, let's just go back. What else? So this is also with the R design, always makes it a bit more beautiful. Yeah, just have these XC rims on it. It makes a difference on a car like this. It makes it more sportive, and yeah, it's logical. The same with an AMG line or with an M line. We have this R design from Volvo. It always makes the car just more fresh. And but this is also the D5, the all-wheel drive version. Nice car. R design chairs in it. Here the instrument cluster is also different. It's what is it called again? Yeah, it's also R design indeed. Yeah, doesn't have any Heiko. Heiko is a tuner, and R design is more of a line. Like you have the S line from Audi and M line, or from BMW, those kind of things. I think this picture was made a while ago, minus 27 degrees. Can't remember it being that cold here for a long time, but it doesn't matter. Not bad. It's used, but it's not bad. More than 200 horsepower for diesel, also not bad. Also, this one is imported. So they say it was built in December and it was imported in December. So I don't know how that goes, but always check the story. Let's just see if we can go. Okay, then we need to get rid of this filter. Let's see if we can find the T6 as well. 33, here we go. This supposed to be the 6-cylinder, the 3-liter 6-cylinder turbocharged Volvo. This one is the cheapest here in the Netherlands, so 7k, more than 400,000 kilometers on the clock. Let's see if we can find something beautiful here. Here, so around 13k for early 2000. Yeah, it's 2008, so the first model year basically. Interesting color. It has close to 300 horsepower, so that's quite nice. Also, this one is imported. A lot of import cars here in the Netherlands, which could be good, but could be shady. I mean, we live in one European Union, but when people want to screw you over, they still have many ways to do that. And car salesmen are the scum of the earth. You know that, with all due respect. I mean, they sell you everything. But on the looks of it, the car looks nice. It is an interesting color. I would not like this trailer hatch here, because you never know how many and how heavy the items were what this car had to carry. I mean, I'm sure a 3-liter 6-cylinder can do it, but I prefer a car that doesn't have to have these heavy things towed, because it's massive wear out on the gearbox, for instance, on the brakes, like all the things. The car really has to work way harder. Look at these seats. I mean, this is quite ugly, I have to be honest. This is not looking good. Didn't age that well. But yeah, that's just for you to decide if you like that. For me, I think it's strange. This should have been dark blue, or it should have been dark brown or something like that. Okay, the steering wheel has an upgrade. Close to 300 horsepower. Not bad. And they say this is also the summum, so this is the top spec version. I mean, it all looks quite clean for a car for 2008. This was, I think you could say, revolutionary. I mean, that was quite something. Close to 300,000 kilometers driven. Yeah, it's doable, and it is a 3 liter six cylinder, and because it's a T, it's also turbocharged. I'm sure this is a very pleasant engine. Volvo is of course famous for the 5 cylinders, but they also have some pretty good 6 cylinders on sale. This is going a bit over budget. I mean, you should go. I think you should find a nice one between 10 and 20. But like what I said in the beginning, these cars are definitely not cheap. I mean, this one is almost 10 years old now. They say this is not a summum, it's a momentum, it's a different spec, but it's still quite a lot of money. And to be honest, yeah, you don't look twice at a car like this. Maybe that's the sleeper factor. It could be an advantage, could be a disadvantage. It really depends. Didn't drive a lot yet, but it probably has everything that you need. Yeah, the T6 all-wheel drive version. So if you go skiing or you go to the mountains, it's always nice to have a four-wheel drive system there. Gives you extra grip. I mean, it's close to 300 horsepower, so you also want to be able to put that power down. When you see this picture, you get the feeling it's not that big, but it is a smaller SUV. It's definitely not an XC90, of course, but it also helps along with your drivability. I mean, you're not driving a tank or anything, and this still gets you, for a day, 1,000 kilometers or even more. I'm sure you can do that without too much sweat. Let's see. Yeah, it has all the infotainment systems on there that you would expect in 2015-ish. So digital radio, you can connect your phone, you can charge your phone, auxiliary port here. The typical white leather interior of Volvo gives it kind of a fresh Scandinavian look. The downside is that 10 years later, it can also look a bit dirty, especially if you sit on there, maybe black leather jacket or other clothes that can give up some some color. Panorama roof, yeah, not bad. And this is the T6, perfect car to take a trip to the south of Europe with if you want to. Yeah, you see here and there it's used a bit, but that's quite logical. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, this one has 305 horsepower, so it's a bit different. Maybe it's a bit tweaked. I don't know. I'm sure with a different engine tune, these cars can extract more because 3 liter, six in line with a turbo with only 300 horsepower. I'm sure with a tune on it, it can get more efficient, more economical, and probably has a higher, power output as well. But 300 horsepower, I mean, it's enough for most situations in Europe, I would say. This is a summum. This one looks quite nice, I must say. I didn't expect that. So this is about the cars that you can find here in the Netherlands. These are basically, this is one search engine that searches all the car websites, and this is just, they index that all from all the garages and on other cars websites. So still a lot to sale here for sale. And it's quite a popular car. You see them on the street quite often, and they are quite durable, but they're not super rust proof. And you see all the buttons and all the stuff is also, I mean, it fades over time. I have the same with my S40, and I really treat it okay. I don't, not rough with it. This also has a Polestar insignia here or something. This is the flag of Sweden. That looks quite good in red. Not bad at all. Yeah, this already looks better. Not bad at all. This is also the automatic. This is 2013. So that basically is still the first generation, but then the facelift. Because the second generation came out in 2016. Yeah. And this is not a lot in kilometers. Especially not for a 6-cylinder. So a 6-speed, 6-cylinder, 3 liter with 305 horsepower. It's a beautiful car, but imported as well. Yeah, I can go for another one and then we close off this live stream because it's quite the same. So you have the T6, the top level model. There are T5s out there, apparently not in the Netherlands. Um, yeah, there's a lot of four cylinders there as well. But if you can go for a five cylinder, I mean, it's reliable. It has a nice sound. But it really depends on how much kilometers you drive. If you drive lots and lots of kilometers, go for a D5. If you live in the Netherlands or somewhere in Northern Europe or in a state in the United States that don't have a lot of mountains or anything, you don't have to go for all-wheel drive version. These are less economical. They use quite a lot of fuel because it's not a very it is, but it is safe. So if you are in an area where there are many places out there where the tarmac is not good, when you have mountains where it snows or rains heavy from time to time, then it's definitely worth checking out. And also when you have more than 300 horsepower, it could be an advantage traction wise. It's much easier to put that kind of power on the road when you have better traction. So that is something that you might have to consider. Personally, I like the XC60 a lot, but I like the facelift way better, styling wise. But the problem with this XC60 is that, the earlier versions, let's say 2008 until 2012, they still had the option of the 5-cylinder. And afterwards it became a bit boring, all 4 cylinders, mostly turbocharged. There were many hybrids because that was just the beginning of, I would say the beginning of the end, but the beginning of all these hybrids that came onto the market. So there are also plenty of options when it came that way. The first XC60 we just reviewed, the most expensive, I will go back to. That one was the T8, and that is that was basically the top level, the top dog in the Netherlands. So we go back to that one. That is the most expensive, but they also, it just came onto the market and it had all the fancy toys that you want. So more than 1,600 cars here in the Netherlands, regardless of it being a diesel or it being a petrol car. Yeah, this is a black edition. You see, if you want to lease a car like this, it's close to 1,700 a month. But yeah, it's 100,000 euros. I mean, it's a lot of money, but think about what 100,000 euros buys you at Audi or BMW or Mercedes for that matter. It's not a lot of car. Well, it is a nice car, granted, but the Volvo is, they give you more value for money, I would say. But you have to have this kind of Volvo virus that apparently I have now after a few years. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still love Mercedes, but from the old school, BMWs, from the old school, I like in general, I don't like modern cars. I just don't like them. They are soulless to me. But when you talk about a nice modern Volvo with the right trim, this is not bad at all. I mean, this is a pleasant car to be in, I'm sure. 450 horsepower. I'm quite amazed by that. I didn't know that. So guys, I want to thank you for watching this live stream. Hopefully next month I can release and focus more on old school Volvos. Think 960, think 850s, S70 for instance. All these kind of videos, they are in the making. We're gonna try to continue doing this buying review stuff on this channel. Yeah, that's basically what I wanted to say. I've been quite busy, but I tried to get back into the swing of things and be a little bit more active on this channel again. But, time will see. Hope you guys have a great week. Everything goes good. And thanks for watching again. All the best.